Good morning, you guys. I am back in San Diego from my vacation, and I think today is a really good day to start out with some presence practices and Eckhart Tolle, especially if you're a person like me who's very interested in transforming stuck energy or reactivity. Every human being gets reactive. And a good place to practice is when you have like an urge to do something. For me, I practice on social media. Social media is a great way to practice presence, reduce reactivity, because it's very safe. Advanced practices have to deal with, crying children or annoying spouses or difficult bosses or situations in traffic. But when we're just reading something on a page, we're safe. And the reactivity that comes up in people is not helpful, it's divisive, and it comes from some stuck energy. Because mature human discourse allows other people to have their points of view. So this is where I have been practicing for a long time, is when men text or email me, and it's been hard. It's been hard. And it is going to be a challenge, but I'm going to play 5 minutes of an Eckhart Tolle clip that goes into what I've been practicing for many years and what I do with people when I coach them, which is to, John Wellwood teaches this too, many somatic practitioners teach this too, is that when you're reactive, to not lose your awareness, because it just comes out of you like zhoosh, and off you go when you're leaving a nasty comment on someone or you're telling them that they're wrong and you're all upset. And is to first want to change this. The second is to be aware when it comes up, instead of letting it take you over, that you just pay attention to it and give yourself some time to just be with that emotion in your body. And then to also notice how your awareness gets hijacked and your thoughts get hijacked, and you believe your thoughts that you must say something. So this is like, it's a spiritual practice. It's a way of human evolving, is to not react to things that don't require reacting, And so a good easy way to practice is when you're at home. Eckhart Tolle talks about in this clip I'm going to play, you want to turn on the TV or you have a strong desire. It could be eating a piece of candy or getting on your Facebook when you've decided to not go on it. You can use anything like that where you're safe at home, or you're reading a social media post and you use what's called a time gap, where you must have the awareness, to not go to this thing, and to just be with the sensation that arises in your body that you must do this, and your thoughts that will take you out, because these will be linked, telling you that you must do this. And this practice actually loosens that energy field and transmutes this energy into consciousness, into presence. So it's a very powerful spiritual practice, and it creates a lot of aliveness and joy. You guys think I'm filled with vitality. I attribute this practice I've done it a few times. I attribute this practice to the aliveness that I feel in myself. It's extremely powerful, but few people are willing to do it. This video will probably not get a lot of hits, so I have to come up with a really good title. How to win at social media wars, I might say that, because if you're not taken over by everything everybody's saying, it's such a better life, to just be like, well, I don't care what they say, because you really don't. But when people are highly reactive, I myself don't like to be around reactive people. It's very unpleasant energy, when guys are so reactive and women are so reactive. And it's just to like calm down a little bit and have a little bit of grace and a little bit of peace. And that doesn't mean that you don't have opinions and boundaries. It just means that you're not overtaken by them. When you're not overtaken by them, because when you're overtaken by them, you lose your consciousness, like you're in a fog. You're not even present anymore to make powerful decisions and to be powerful. So this is a way to become powerful. Maybe I'll call this video How to Be More Powerful. And that is it. That is the spiritual transformation practice. So I'm doing this with my own thing right now. I've been doing it too. Just a few of the practices I had to do during my trip already made me like respond better to the comments. Like I just approved a whole bunch of comments that were like not disrespectful at me, but you know, like very adverse views. I'm like, I'm okay with this now. It doesn't bother me that people have these different views. But my own personal one is still with the whole body count thing, because I think that it like is unfair towards who I am as a person. So I'm gonna do that practice today when guys tell me, oh, you're just a low value whatever because of your body count. Nobody wants you because you're old. So those are the two things that I'm gonna practice it on. Because those are just their opinions. So those are safe things for me to like, okay, what energy comes up in my body that I can be with when men tell me, oh, your body count is so high, or you have no value because you're old. Like, what is that energy? And it's already starting to loosen just by being with that energy in my body. So those are just some examples from myself that I can use. But let's listen to what Eckhart Tolle has to say in this clip. And thanks for watching this video. I'm very curious to hear what you think of Eckhart Tolle. One thing I do want to say is that I'm not a fan of his books. I love him though when he speaks. And they're very different experiences because the book is very cerebral and quick, and it just irritates my mind, to be honest with you. It makes it too hyperactive as I'm trying to figure everything out. But when he speaks, I can feel and he embody what he's saying, and it's very soothing. So I really recommend Eckhart Tolle listening to him versus reading him. And his videos are free on YouTube. So here we go, and thanks for watching this video. Now here comes Eckhart Tolle.
Questioner, to practice presence power when you're not particularly tempted by anything and you're just in your room, there's no particular temptation. Go into the body, feel the inner body, be aware, be present. When you sense perception, I recommended that practice. Sense perception, feel the presence pervading every cell in your body, the inner body awareness. And so that there is enough presence to when this impulse comes, you use it as, don't say go away or something like that, because it won't go away, it'll do it anyway. The impulse comes, whatever it may be, and you observe, you realize it's not a good thing that it wants you to do, and if there's enough awareness, you use it as every time an impulse of that kind comes. This is your special spiritual practice. So instead of wanting to get rid of it, welcome when an impulse of that kind comes, and see that this is a spiritual practice specially designed for you. Of course, it is. And so how do you transform this into spiritual practice? First, you realize this is an opportunity for practicing. And the first thing you could do is you practice delaying, obeying the impulse, not obeying it immediately, but delaying it. So, and you observe then, let's say you wanted to go to the TV and turn this thing on. Or you feel the impulse, or say, okay, here's my next spiritual practice. I'm now going to delay the turning on of this show on TV for 3 minutes. And during those 3 minutes, you observe the impulse in you. You observe, it's an energy form, and you observe it. Oh, there you are. There you are. And you feel it. It's like a little gremlin or something. And so this time gap can be a very useful first practice, that you introduce a time gap before you give in. You're not saying, I'm not going to give in. No, you say 3 minutes. during those 3 minutes, I'm going to observe you. And you shine the light of consciousness, the light of awareness on this impulse, which is an energy form. And it can be an energy form that is in you as a kind of emotion. It can also dangerously invade your mind and make you, the explanation I gave just now with this friend of mine, the thought comes into your head that explains why you should give in to this impulse that can happen easily. And there too, you need to be present enough, sufficiently aware, so that you do not believe in every thought, especially those kinds of thoughts. You don't believe in every thought that comes into your head. Oh, you observe the thought because the thought is part of it. And even to the thought, you say, oh, there you are. There's the thought, and there's the feeling behind the thought. And you set aside 3 minutes. During those 3 minutes, you observe that. Isn't that interesting? Wonderful spiritual practice. And while you observe, you grow in consciousness. You apply consciousness to it. Only 3 minutes, 3 minutes. And then after the 3 minutes, see how you feel. It may have dissolved, but probably not yet. It's still there. And then you can see, can I do another 2 or 3 minutes? Am I strong enough for that? Is my awareness strong enough? And yes, it is. Don't believe you might, oh no, stop this nonsense, do it anyway. And then you achieve 5 or 6 minutes of, and then what happens after that, we don't know. It is possible that the impulse has receded, gone back to a dormant state, and you don't have to do it. It's also possible that the impulse is still there, and you cannot, after 5 minutes, there's not enough awareness left, and but you have to go and do it. But at least the 5-minute interval, the time gap was very important. And when anything like that happens, you always introduce a time gap for your spiritual practice, during which you do not hold it down, but you observe it. So you don't push it down, you observe, oh, there you are. So if it's a gremlin, you don't say, you hold you down. No, there's a gremlin, you look at it. There it is. Oh. No, the interesting thing, when you apply awareness to something, you shine the light of consciousness on it, the possibility of transformation is also there. It arises as you shine the light of consciousness on it. This is the famous example from fairy stories and so on. The frog